Interesting title here, Achieve More, Creating Healthier Organizations. I sort of like to start with this as far as you could drive a truck through that title. I mean, it really is difficult to say, well, what do we mean by creating healthier organizations? What are we trying to do? Just get people to lose weight and stop smoking or joining health clubs? What truly is the definition of a healthier organization? And so rather than me trying to define it, I want to refer to this study that was done a few years ago by the government, National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. And they said, yep, care management and health promotion is certainly an important part of any type of a healthy organization. Absolutely, care management and health promotion. But what they're tying into and what this whole presentation is going to focus on is that next piece. But they're saying corporate culture plays a critical role. Corporate culture plays a critical role. Interesting. Because we don't usually talk about corporate culture. We talk about health promotion and care management and things like that, losing weight, stop smoking, health care benefits. We talk about all that kind of stuff, but we don't always peel apart this cultural elephant. And here's how they define it, or here's where they go with it a little bit, is we all know that the goal of a healthy organization, obviously one of the goals, is focusing on the individual. Is if we could get people to eat right, get active, get fit, move, we could eliminate a lot of chronic conditions. We could help productivity in the workplace. We could reduce absenteeism in the workplace. There's no doubt it's in the literature. It's been going on for 20 years. Hopefully, many of you people have been exposed to it or seen it. There's a lot of activity going on within workplaces and outside of workplaces to get our society to get active and get fit. We've got some issues going on, the national obesity scales. I mean, we've got issues going on, so there's no doubt we should have focus on the individuals at work. And to do that, we realize, well, we have to support the individual with some type of cultural envelope. So we've had to provide incentives, we had to provide health coaching, we maybe do some biometrics or health risk assessments. We certainly had to put it in the benefit programs that our organizations offer. So there's no doubt when NIOSH says you need culture, absolutely you need these kind of things to basically incentivize and support individuals trying to go through this kind of life-changing transition to try to get more fit and eat right. But interestingly, when they say culture, notice I say culture with a big C. They weren't referring to this in culture. This is not what they meant when they said the big C of culture plays a critical role. This is what they meant. The big culture is focusing on how well do individuals understand how they contribute. How well do the individuals understand how they contribute to where the organization or your team is trying to go? You can replace team with organization everywhere I use it. But basically, that's one of the things they said is you have to have an environment where people feel a sense of connection, a sense of contribution. They understand how their unique talents are being put to good use, both individually and collectively. Interesting. Have you ever heard that in a wellness program before? Maybe not. The second thing they focus on is leaders must provide structures that support cooperation. Provide that kind of sense of unity. Provide that kind of sense of we're all on the same page. Those are the two things they cited. And I should have mentioned, I'll get to a little bit of my bio maybe throughout this presentation, but I'm not a wellness professional. I'm not a human resource professional. I'm sort of a business management, business leadership professional. My whole experience, as you'll see through this presentation, is basically focusing on performance. And what I was doing for many years was focusing on these two elements, trying to get people to understand how they contribute and trying to help leaders understand how to create an environment of cooperation. I did not know that that's what NIOSH also concluded, was the fact that those are two elements that are critical to what you could call a healthy culture, a healthy organization. Does that make sense? I'm seeing some heads nod. Because if you just sort of think about it for a minute, is we can encourage healthy living and we can encourage people to go from work and go to health clubs or take a walk in the morning with their dog. We can encourage playing with your kids after work. We can encourage everything Nate was talking about. But if people are going to work and they're being drained, and they're working in a toxic environment, a dysfunctional environment, an unfocused environment where relationships are soured and cancerous to a degree, will they really make an individual investment to healthy living? Chances are not. They're going to go home and potentially turn to other things that they shouldn't be turning to, or turning to nothing and going to bed at 7. I mean, we've all been there. This is just sort of acknowledging reality. The cultural elephant plays a huge role in trying to create what we're terming as healthy organizations. And so I wanted to start right here so you guys know where I'm going with this presentation in the first minute. As far as this is what we're here to talk about, is what can we do within our organizations as leaders to basically create an environment that addresses these two factors. That actually defines then what bringing meaning into Monday is. Nate referred to this process called bringing meaning into Monday. I'll refer to a book at the end of the presentation that I've gotten back if you're interested. But fundamentally, those two words are centerpiece to it. There's a third word called balance, which I'll introduce momentarily. But the primary words, when I say bringing meaning into Monday, from this point forward, what I really mean by bringing meaning into Monday is enhancing the cultural quality of your workplace by focusing on value and building a sense of unity. So bringing meaning into Monday is synonymous with value and unity is the point here. And this graphic basically is trying to show, if you can do that, if you can create an organization focused on service, focused on enhancing value of what they do every day, if you can create an organization that's on the same page, working cooperatively together in a more effective, focused way, if you can create that kind of an organization, would it affect people? Yeah, I think it's going to affect people based on some of these studies, and I'll get more into that. But it also, here's where my experience was, it affects performance. Is the leaders of organizations, this is the holy grail that most leaders are looking for. It's probably hard-pressed to talk to your board or talk to fellow leaders about health and wellness, and to talk about benefit plans and memberships and biometrics. It's like there's a lot of leaders that are going, well, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I mean, I'm interested in that topic, but not so much. But when you talk to leaders about, hi, we can help you improve the value in which you serve your customers and the profitability thereof. We can help you build a sense of getting everybody on the same bus, a sense of focus and unity. Their ears are perking. They're saying, well, wait a minute, I never heard that as wellness. I never defined it as wellness. And that's what we're trying to break that egg today and get people to realize that, yeah, the leader's role is not to necessarily encourage people to get fit, partly, but the leader's role is to create an environment where people feel that kind of sense of connection to one another. And that's what bringing meaning is all about, is to try to create that kind of an atmosphere, which then leads to this issue of it is leaders' job to do this. My focus today is going to be focusing on what leaders need to do to create an atmosphere within their work climate, within their team, that basically generates value, produces value continually, and generates a sense of cooperation and unity. So everything about this presentation is geared toward leaders, but to define what I mean by a leader, it's not necessarily people that have people reporting to them. A lot of us equate, well, leadership is about I have people reporting to me. And I like to say, no, leadership is about influencing people to a new tomorrow. Okay, people that want to try to move from A to B, and they're trying to relentlessly move people through that sense of transition to get to that new tomorrow. That's leadership, are people that are committed to, if we're not improving tomorrow of what we do today, we're going to fail, we're going to become obsolete. Leaders understand that. Leaders are continually trying to move the dial forward as far as trying to move us into the future. That's leadership to me, and it doesn't require people to be reporting you to do that.